Hello, everyone. My name is Atreyu Lisette. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, and today I have a few questions for my father, Sun.Maru. So, you taught me a lot of things growing up, and I've actually been experiencing things of my own with angels.
Really?
So, I wanted to know your input of angels and the spiritual realm.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Angels originally means messenger. Messengers, that's what they're known for. One of the words, I believe, for angel, one of the earliest words that I've heard was Malik. Malik meaning messenger. And I believe that that's either Hebrew or Arabic. Don't quote me on that. As far as angels, the only thing that I can say that I experienced was maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. I was outside and I was real troubled, and I think my car had broke down. So I needed to walk from my apartment to the store. And when I walked outside, I was walking down the street towards the store. I think it was like a Valero. And I looked to my side, and there was this white man walking next to me. He kept walking, and I'm looking at him like, man, what's going on? I said, am I about to be arrested or something? So he looked at me and started laughing and stuff. So I'm like, for real, why you walking all next to me like that? So then he was like, I have a question for you. What do you think about the Anunnaki?
What is the Anunnaki?
Anunnaki are like based on Mesopotamian and Sumerian text, visitors that came down and basically genetically created the so-called human race. But there's a lot of flaws in that story as well. A lot of stuff is mythology. But here, anyway, what happened was, by the time he asked me that question, I answered that, what I just told you. And then he said, I'm trying to figure out which one of you is the Anunnaki. And I said, well, I don't know too much about them. And he says, well, do you think I'm Jesus? Or do you think you're Satan? Or do you think that I'm Satan and you're Jesus? And I said, well, I'm definitely not Satan. So he started laughing again. So then he started walking a few more minutes. By the time we was at the store, he says, I want to show you something. And I kid you not, I put this on everything I love, Trey. He vanished in thin air. So I didn't even go to the store after that. I just went and sat down on a bench, and I had to ponder. I had to register that shit.
Mm-hmm.
What I was registering is the fact that I was kind of like thinking about all of the things that he was telling me. The questions as far as Anunnaki, was he Jesus, or was I Satan, or was I Satan, or was he Jesus, and why would he ask me that? But that didn't even matter. What fucked me up the most, excuse me for cussing, baby, he disappeared in thin air.
So who do you think he was?
Well, put it like this. He asked a question about confusion of who he was and who I was. I'm definitely not Satan or Lucifer.
Yeah.
And and I feel like, yes, I am the son of Mary. And I'm into a lot of beliefs as far as knowing my higher self, but I definitely know that I'm not an evil entity. But I think that, in my opinion, he possibly could have been a Malik or an angel, because normal physical beings can't vanish in thin air. They can't vanish. But see, the thing is, the reason why I rarely tell that story, I told you when you were younger, is because when another person is not there to witness, they're usually going to say that you're lying.
Yeah.
So, but that's the one that resonates with me more than anything, because I can honestly say that I came across an entity that could have possibly been who we know as the metaphysical devil, because there's many names for him: Azazel, Iblis, as far as the Arabs call him. I would even try to say, not the Egyptian mythology is different, but you could probably put him in comparable to Seth or Seti or Anubis from the Egyptian mythology, the dog, the jackal. But you know, they say that shapeshifters and demonic beings come in many shapes and sizes. So angels definitely do exist. There's many names, as I said before in the other films, for the same thing. So you know, there's metaphysical world, and then there's the physical realm. And what you was gonna say?
Have you ever been in the metaphysical world?
Well, you know, of course, you know, I got shot when I was in Houston, and I can say that I definitely went to a place of rest, and I was conscious of the place. But as far as seeing white angels and a man with a beard and all that crazy shit, I didn't see any of that. I saw a place of rest, and I was conscious of it, but I actually went to sleep in the metaphysical world. And, you know, I didn't wake up until like maybe the 16th of January. I was murdered on the 1st of January. And then, of course, you know, I said in the last, you know, I came back to life, everything that's documented, not making it up. You know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can definitely say that, you know, from all the experiences that I've had all my life, that world is real. And I think that once you adapt and get more connected to that world, you'll basically know how to not be codependent off the system, because artificial intelligence and all of those type of things are going to be the same things that take us into captivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, our blood is very spiritual. You know, we come from a bloodline of spiritual people, and you know, there's probably a lot of native, indigenous, aboriginal people, which they call the Indians today, in our blood, as well as indigenous African blood. You know, you have to do your own research to find out who you are. But once you get in tune with your roots and find out who you are, you're able to deal with the things that are natural. The worst thing that always I tell people that could have happened to us was for us to be stripped of our roots, of us knowing who we are, because we were once people of earth, wind, fire, and water, nature, the ether world. You know what I'm saying? We dealt with the world and the land. We had healing for ourselves with everything that we dealt with. You know, we find herbs, roots, all of those things in nature, and we had knowledge of it naturally.
And why do you feel like they're taking away this knowledge from us?
Just like with anything, you have to take it out of its source of its natural state, because if you don't take it out of it, if you keep it in this state, it can escape. So they have to take us out of our element. We're fish out of water. They have to take us out of our element in order to control us. You know, it's that simple. You know, it's really a psychological process. You have to strip someone of everything they know in order to place them in a position that you want them in. You know, because a lot of us suffer from Stockholm syndrome, and that's when you really plead with your victimizer, the person that's really abusing you. And over the years, for instance, if you take a child and you abuse a child all its life, it's going to grow up dysfunctional. And that's the same thing with this race. If you abuse a mass of people for hundreds and hundreds of years, their offspring are going to be dysfunctional. So you can view it spiritually or psychological. But the unseen world is something that we definitely need to be aware of. And I tell everyone all the time, find out your archetypes or your angels or your Maliks. You know, I'm very proud of you. Crazy out here in Atlanta. We're driving like fools, but yeah, man. You know, it's just, you know, I tell everybody all the time, you know, get in tune with yourself, find out who you are, know about yourself, know yourself, study yourself, find out about nature and things like that, so you won't be so codependent off technology, always on your phone and can't do nothing without your phone. 85% of the people now, if you take their phone away from them, they'll be helpless. So I appreciate, you know, you taking time to ask me some of these questions before, you know, we exit this. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to answer?
Not right now. I did have a question about the ways that they were brainwashing us as a society, but
That's a good question.
I don't know if you wanted to do that.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. Psychological shit runs deep. You know, you can research things like MK Ultra, psychological mind control, hypnotism, indoctrination, mass manipulation. All of this is due to the fact where they know who we are more than we do. They have to get you under control because they have did their research on us. We haven't.
Yeah.
They done their research. They know that we are not, possibly a lot of us are not even all the way human on their standards, you know. And that's why I'm going to touch on the upcoming film I'm about to make called The Vampire Theory. Because Corin Gaines, R.I.P., all peace to that, rest in power to that sister. She really put a lot of people on information before the police assassinated her. And the theory is that this world is ran by cannibals and literally bloodsuckers. They feed off of adrenochrome, and they get adrenaline from feeding off the blood of melanated aboriginal people. And these people are in high places. They sit in high places. So we're going to touch on that more on our next chapters, and I'll tell you about the theory of the hidden vampire. You know, you got energy vampires, but you also got people that literally live off of the blood of us. So, you know, demons are metaphysical and physical, as internal as external, as above as below. Sincerely, Sun.Maru.
Thank you.